It is varnish day today. These paintings are finally dry enough to varnish. Windows are open, so there's a little bit of outside noise. Got to keep the ventilation going. And I like a glossy surface, so I'm using this Artists Gloss Varnish. This is my preferred varnish. It's nice, clear, doesn't yellow. So I use a lot of thick paint, and so I want the varnish to be, sometimes that thick paint can kind of create little dams and pools where the varnish can't flow smoothly. I don't want to create streaks. It's just thicker than other areas. I want to get everything nice and smooth. So I work in different directions, and I want to make sure that I'm getting all of the edges really well. There are different types of varnish. There's matte varnish. It just depends on what you want your paintings to look like. I like my paintings to look wet. Different types of paint dry at different rates, have different amounts of oil in them. Some dry really matte, some dry really glossy. And so also depends on the way you apply the paint to the surface. I want my paint to look really uniform across the entire surface. And the varnish protects it. It makes it uniform and it protects it. So if you want a matte finish, something that's a little duller, then you can use a different type of varnish that makes everything even in a more matte finish. Doesn't have all the shine. I must say, very shiny varnish paintings are extremely difficult to photograph. So, but they look better when they've been photographed with varnish on. You have to use like a photo filter on a DSLR camera to make it work well. Or putting it on a flatbed scanner actually works fine if you've got a flatbed scanner that's large enough. So I'm working in different directions. I use the light from the window so I can see if I've got the varnish on everywhere. It helps me see where I've missed spots. This stuff's pretty smelly. So I just want the windows. I've got a fan going in the other window. And then I've got this in front of an open window. So it's good to do on days where it's not too cold. Also, the cold will make the varnish dry more slowly. Hot days will make it dry more quickly. So at this point, it's already starting to get tacky as I am working, which is fine. And it will be dry in about 24 hours, dry enough to touch. So I feel like I was missing a spot there. Making sure there's no little fuzzies or hairs. A lot of times I have mosquito and gnat body parts stuck in my paintings from when I'm painting outside. So I'm just making sure that I got all those little bits out. So finished results. So besides evenness and texture and making the painting look the way you want it to look, varnish is really important to protecting the painting. You never know where somebody's going to hang your artwork. It'd hang in somebody who smokes in their house, a house that's damp, or maybe near a kitchen where maybe something gets greasy or smoky. So the varnish makes it so that you can easily wipe dust off if there was grease or smoke on it. Hurricane Helene recently happened. I've got a little hair I just saw. Hurricane Helene recently happened. There were a lot of artists lost artwork in the hurricane because it got covered in mud. So the varnish, while it might not be able to completely protect your painting, it would help you clean off mud if your painting was in a flood. I like Liquitex matte medium. I would put that on the back of the surface before I frame it to have it go out in the world. But that's another way, to think about protecting your artwork. Because if the back is sealed with protectant, it's going to keep the wood from soaking in moisture. And I've had some of these wood panels split in the back. It's like a birch ply. The hardboards are fine. Like ampersand hardboards, those won't split. But some of the Dick Blick ones, I've had them split in the back because it was in a moist and it's humid for weeks. So I varn like if I'm going out landscape painting, I might put an acrylic medium on the back just to protect the wood too. Yeah.